Entropy Zero is not really a game, but instead a mod for one of my favorite video games of all time, Half-Life 2. You guys already know I love Half-Life 2. Literally, all of it. From the amazing story, no matter how complicated it can get, to the fantastic gameplay that is just so fun to play around and so much more fine-tuned and unique than its predecessor, Half-Life 1. I consider Half-Life 2 to be an achievement in gaming, and its mini-sequels were just as great, especially Episode 2, which I thought did a lot of things better than Half-Life 2. So when a fan of mine, Lamdry, asked me to do a review of not a Half-Life game, but instead a mod for Half-Life 2, I was a little intrigued. I love Half-Life 2, but this was just a mod, and this mod was getting a lot of attention. I had low expectations, thinking it would be a little half-cooked mod, but I'm surprised to say, guys, that this mod blew my fucking expectations in way more than one category. I had a great time playing this mod. It felt like a little expansion to an already great game, and the premise was cool. You're playing as a Combine soldier, a Metro cop more specifically, and the game has so much charm when it comes to this, whether it's killing rebels from the original Half-Life 2 or the amazing voice lines for this guy. The Metro cop you play as has made me chuckle on many occasions, and it never gets old.
I feel pretty good about myself. What have been waiting to pay cut? Take that!
Your mind is opaque. Clearly we see your hopes and dreams.
You expect me to believe that?
This makes the game feel different from the original Half-Life 2, and I appreciate the work that went into this. It even changes the flashlight of this game, which you have to use a lot since most of the locations in this game are dark as shit. You will never know where the hell you are going if you don't have your flashlight on. And it's also cool seeing the perspective of a Combine soldier with these goggles. It makes everything blue and swirly, but not too swirly to where it makes you sick. And hell, this mod is an actual campaign, which is amazing. It has 4 chapters, so let me talk about it. Chapter 1 is cool. You'll start off the chapter killing rebels in an abandoned house, Modern Warfare 2019 style open here. Then you're in a ship with your fellow Combine soldiers, and they even have conversations, which I absolutely loved hearing. Then the ship fucking crashes, and you explore this underground, having to find batteries to open doors, killing even more rebels and also zombies. And you can even use the fucking flying machines that have the saw blades. I hated those fuckers before, but now I love them. They're so versatile. Look at this. And one thing that I really was not expecting was lore. There's a lot of lore sprinkled into this mod. Like this sign that talks about a CFLU pandemic and that the citizens need to be vaccinated. That sounds very familiar. You do this little puzzle that's very simple, and bam, end of chapter. Not a bad chapter. I liked it, and I think it introduced everything nicely. Now, chapter 2. Chapter 2 is short, but very sweet. It's a very interesting chapter to me, and it's mostly because of the lore. But before the lore, you're killing even more rebels, and even find out that they switched the programming of the turrets to kill Combine soldiers instead of the rebels. But there's this little itty-bitty switch that changes it back to killing humans, and, well... That is literally the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen done in a mod. And then we have this masterful piece of lore that was just so interesting that I wish it was actually canon. It was a story of a guy that was at Breaker's Point, and believe it or not, he met fucking G-Man. G-Man, the blue-suited hombre. This guy met him. They made a fucking deal where G-Man would help keep him under the radar and away from the Combine, but he has to push his salvage back to City 17. G-Man even sent food rations to the fucking team. Some shit happened and they can't go back to City 17 anymore. There's even a drawing of G-Man's fucking face, which looks so creepy that I can't help but adore it. Then the guy talked to G-Man once again, and apparently G-Man showed him space, the Vortigots, and even Gordon Freeman himself. G-Man said he wanted to meet the man and take him somewhere special, and then right next to that wall is a fucking skeleton. I think we can imagine what happened here. And then we freed a Combine soldier, and he knocks us out. Turns out that it was the boy Barney! And that's the end of the chapter. Wow. In terms of lore, I would put it on the highest fucking tier. The amount of storytelling and references that this chapter had was fire, and I loved every second of it. It was also really short, only about 10 minutes or so, but still, it was great. And now we have chapter 3, which is so fucking cool. Chapter 3 reminds me a lot of Half-Life 1. It was survival horror in a lot of ways. You were in a dark underground facility full of zombies. I'm talking absolutely full of zombies, head crabs, and the farther you go, the more zombies there are. There's even a part where you have to survive the horde, I guess you can say. Reminds me a lot of Left 4 Dead in that regard. I have been jump scared and died. A lot. Many times. but I enjoyed it. Plus, the end part where a stalker helps you get to the end of the chapter, like, that's cool. This guy's my new best friend, and he will be called Stocky. So yeah, chapter 3 was good old fun, and I really liked it. I can't say the same thing at all, though, for chapter 4. Holy shit, chapter 4 is the final chapter, and it is also the weakest chapter. The puzzles suck ass. Most of them require you to use the Powerball to destroy these big ass lights to go to the next room. Rinse and fucking repeat this shit until the boss fight at the end. Now don't get me wrong, the boss fight against this fucking creature was kind of fun, but I was a little too overpowered for him. And then the real final boss actually happens, and I hate it. You shoot 3 light things with a Powerball once again, like I've been doing this whole fucking chapter, and then you just run away from this Vortigaunt until the final cutscene happens. I will say though that the final cutscene sorta makes up for it. Like, this final cutscene is so fucking cool. The Combine Soldier you are playing as is nearly dead, but he gets a call, and the call is from the literal boss species of the fucking Half-Life universe. Those fat fucking little things that look like catfishes, yeah, those things. This guy says that he's proud of the Combine Soldier's actions throughout the whole game, and that he needs to have a consciousness transfer. Probably because the guy's fucking dying, and he needs to be prepared to fight an old foe from the past. Which is obviously a reference to good old Gordon Freeman, meaning, yes, my friends, this game is a prequel. The Combine Soldier gets put into a machine, and the game ends. Wow. This mod was way better than I ever thought it would be. The team that made this mod obviously put so much goddamn love and effort into this product, and they did not disappoint, my friends. Even though it does have some mod jank and it obviously doesn't feel like official Half-Life, I do feel like this guy had a vision, and that vision was realized with the best resources he had. This was better than what most people could do. Valve, if you're watching this, please hire this man for Half-Life 3, even if it's just for the story, because this guy with the lore was a fucking master at it, and I would love to see how he would do with the sequel. That's all I need to say. I give Entropy 0 an 8 out of 10. Really good mod that I recommend you try if you're a Half-Life fan like